All right, so everybody's logging in right now. So let me try this right now.
Danish, disregard the WhatsApp message I sent you because that's the
Sure.
the message I was getting.
All right, let me try this. And if it doesn't work, we are starting.
So that's how it does when you guys first do it. It comes with a white screen like this, huh? It doesn't show any people in it. Interesting.
I actually kind of like that. It's very cool.
No,
It's professional.
this is an issue going on, definitely on that, but on Zoom. This can be because two computers or an account issue, something like that. So let's move on, guys. See waiting room. There are waiting room. Okay, let me admit these people. Raj, Kevtek is in the waiting room. Okay, sorry guys, I put you guys were in the waiting room. Okay. So Kev, that didn't work, and we're gonna continue on it. Okay.
It says recording up there. I see it.
Yep,
Oh,
that's fine. All right. Okay, so everyone, this is Danish, and let me go ahead and turn on my camera. Can you guys see my camera, by the way? There. Can you guys see my camera?
Yes,
there you
we
go.
see it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so first of all, welcome to mock IT interview for IT professionals. Now, this specific interview, the mock interview, is for people who are trying to get into IT career. So most of our questions, most of our reviews are based on you not having too much experience. And even if you have experience, that doesn't matter because these type of questions are kind of like generic. But the first thing we need to understand, and because this is an educational session, we don't want to just ask interview questions and that's it, done, right? There's really no purpose then to do that stuff. I'm sure you're going to get confidence and everything, but we have to understand something more than that you don't know yet. So one other thing I want to tell people that everybody in this meeting right now is going to at least get internship. Now that's fake internship, but in our case, you will get internship. You're not going to get totally rejected in our review. The documentation that I have, it has this one box that says person qualified or rejected. So there's no rejection in this mock interview, but at least you're going to get internship. But here's the thing, internship, if we say you're an intern, you almost got rejected by a company, right? You don't want to be in that phase as well. So number one thing we need to understand is that when you are going to go out to these companies, you're going to go out to these different type of, if you're going to go out to these different type of businesses, then you're targeting many different type of businesses, like for example MSP, which is the company A right here. So I'm gonna try to draw something over here just to give you some understanding. So we have a company A, which is MSP, and these are the people that provide services to other people. So the way I want to share this is that I want you to create some type of image in your mind when you're going to go for these interviews, which is your real interview, because again, this is the education side of it right now. Then we have a company B, which is a small business, right? Small business as in like 30, 40 people, and there's just a very basic shop, but they still require somebody to help them out in IT. Then we have this corporate large environment, which is C, which may have multiple branches, and they may be requiring some or multiple IT professionals doing specific jobs. Then we have this company D, which is a large MSP. That could be an MSP providing every type of services, many different clients. So they may be looking for people as well in their, they may have their own categories of what kind of people that they want to hire. Then we have this education category. And then we have this other category, which could be anything, maybe just small shop with like few people in there, but they want you to come in and fix a computer, and then that's it. They pay you per hour. So here's the thing. I want you, when you guys are focusing all of these questions and you're preparing all these questions, this is what you're preparing for. So the positive side is this. This means in this interview, you already showed us that you are committed and you're passionate. So you joined this, you took this time and you came here. So look at this. You have so many companies, they are gonna be giving you or opening the doors. Now, not every company is gonna open their door the way you want it, right? So they're gonna have their requirements. So just like company A will have a setup, a team, they'll get together. Do we wanna hire Haifa or somebody else to manage our client? There are important clients. Do you really want them to Haifa to be the first person to take up the call based on her interview? What do you think? Company A will say, you know what? No, because I think she is not ready yet. So we're going to lose our client that way, right? We don't want that. But if you applied to so many places, so let's say this company rejected you, but the small company is like, okay, hire anybody, man. We don't care. I mean, they're gonna learn on the job. Just how did you learn, Mr. So-and-so? And they're like, that's how I learned too, right? I just came to your work and I learned everything. So yeah, we're gonna give the same opportunity to Haifa. And there you go. You got many doors over here with different type of companies. And that's what I wanna give you in before I start this mock interview, to give you some confidence that even if you're gonna be answering these questions, number one thing, you should be happy that you took a step, which not a lot of people can do. You took it. So congratulations on that. At least you took that step. Okay. So that's why I said in my company, if somebody totally fail, I'm at least going to hire you as an intern, fake intern, right? So this is the intern part of it right here. So I'm at least going to give you that because of this effort. And what I'm applying from this is this: a lot of people have this misconception, and you probably will see this with people who have never seen or experienced teaching somebody else. They may go through one route, and in their mind, they're very good technical people. They are very technical people, very skillful, but they think that's the only route. So if you go to people like that, they will force that upon you that, okay, no way. I've spent 15 years in IT, and this is how it works. Trust me, right? But those people are not trainers. Though they don't do training with multiple different people, like, different background, different cultures, different anything like that, right? So this is a different experience that we hold. So coming back to, you must be thinking, or people who are going to be watching us, who are you? What kind of authority do you have to say, let me take your mock interview? So we hold that ground too, right? We've been in this for almost 6 to 7 years, just doing stuff on YouTube, training people, getting more research from them, experience from them, learning from them, and then teaching them. And they came back with their experience. So our Discord community is full of this type of stuff. So we will share our links on the bottom. So I want to also share this in this video, that there are going to be stuff like that that's going to be available after this interview. So who is KevTech, or who's Steven? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask KevTech to just do a 1-minute intro quickly, and then we're going to go to Steven, and then like, why are they in the panel, right? So myself, I've been in this stuff for this many years, 40,000 people on the site, 40,000 people on YouTube, and I do this on a daily basis. So that gives me at least some ability to just present myself to you, that, okay, I can at least teach you something about mock interview. And there are certain things that maybe a professional in one job might not know that we know. That's the only thing that I can give you. What do you think? KevTech, let's do your intro quickly, and then we'll move on.
Sure. Hey guys, how you doing? KevTech here. So basically, I have a YouTube channel, but also I help people get into IT. And I started my channel because a lot of people don't know how to get into IT. But also, besides that, I actually have job experience. I have over 6 years of job experience, and I do executive support, IT support for a hedge fund. And I've been in IT for a while. But that's a little bit about me. I don't want to tell you much about me, but I have a YouTube channel, and I'm here today because I want to help out with this mock interview and help people get into IT. Thank
you, Kev.
Yep.
Steven, would you like to go?
Sure. I've been doing IT since 2010. I also have a YouTube channel as well. I just started a couple of weeks ago. And I'm here to give you some of my insights of stuff that I've done throughout my 10 years or so plus being in IT.
All right, so everybody, if you all are ready, let's go ahead and get started without wasting too much time, because that's what you're here for. Now, assumption is this, for somebody who's brand new watching this video, is that these people have already did some training, and that was the expectation. Whether it's a home-based training, we're gonna find that out quickly. They did what type of stuff, that's something that they have to present and defend in these interview questions. So, are you all ready? So now we're going to go ahead and start this question. So number one question I'm going to start with, and I'm going to let other people jump into with their questions as well. The first question is, and when I ask these questions, please raise your hand so we can go one by one. Okay. So tell me about yourself and why did you choose to apply to this job? So this job could be help desk, entry level, desktop support, user support technician, anything in that title. And we consider that you went to the description, and we don't care about the experience at this point right now. You just saw that title, you're applying to it. Tell me about yourself. So let me just watch who got their raised hands. Okay, John is the first one. and we're gonna start continuing the other one. So remember, whoever raise a hand, we're gonna only ask this question from them, okay? So you gotta make sure you raise your hand before you answer. So now, John, go ahead and tell us, what do you think?
Hi, guys. I'm John from Brooklyn, and I was a trainer for like 20 plus years, but a trainer on a user level. So I would teach Microsoft Office, for example, to secretaries or attorneys, and try to raise them to like an expert level. And I think I know a lot about technology, but I don't know what you guys know. And I would like to learn more specifically how to actually fix issues, how to solve problems when users have them. Somebody calls and says, my Outlook crashed, what do I do? So that's what in the last few months I've actually been trying to focus my energy and my mind on learning those kind of practical things. So I have the foundation, but can I fix the printer? That's what I want to answer that question in a positive way, over the next few months of study and training and learning from guys like you.
Okay. Now remember, we are not going to put any notes when we ask this question. It's a live interview right now, so there is no notes. We're just going to make a note of it. So Stephen and Keftek, if they have any notes, they'll just put it there, and then they will talk about this question for John or anybody. I already got one note for John, so of course I'm not going to talk about the review, right? That's something later on. There's a call, quick review. We're going to talk about that, okay? So, and just want to remind Keftek and Stephen that every question people are going to ask, give answer just like a real interview. So make sure if you have something to note, just note it down. So then at least we can talk about it later when this thing is over. So we can quickly tell them, is it yes or no? Which company do they belong to? What do you think from your perspective? So, okay. The second person is John, you can remove the hand. And the second person we have is Eddie. Eddie, go ahead and remember, you're in the real interview. We're sitting in the room right now with these people. You're going to get hired. Tell me about yourself and why did you choose to apply for this job?
Hi. Well, I'm looking to change jobs. I have over 20 years in the service industry, and I live in a very expensive city, and I need to make more money. And I've always enjoyed computers and technology. I've been taking classes online for the past almost about a year now, so I was looking for a change, and I wanted to do something that I thought that I would enjoy. And I've always enjoyed technology and rebuilding my computer, putting it together, helping other people with their issues. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Haifa, tell me about yourself and why did you choose to apply to this position?
Hi, everyone. My name is Haifa. I'm 32 years old. I'm originally from Saudi Arabia, living in the States now. I'm passionate about IT and currently working to get my A+ certification. Although my work background hasn't been in IT, I've always had an interest in it. My other passion in life is helping people. I don't know if you guys have seen my resume on LinkedIn, but most of my time and energy that's been spent throughout the past 12 years of my life has been donated to positive causes, from like feeding the homeless to planning and executing large-scale events about child abuse and just different causes. So like I said, I put a lot of time and energy into helping people. I mentioned that because I feel like IT joins that world also. So in IT, you help people and you learn new things. And I am so excited to become a driving force in this field.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there anybody who can answer this question and that want to talk, or is this the only people that raise their hand? I want to give one more try just to see if Kama is there, or Kama, are you there? Or Dark? I don't even see the mic in there. All right, so, okay, we're not gonna waste time more here. So Next question, and I'm gonna post it right here on the screen so you guys can see here. All right, so this is the question. What are the different forms of help desk? All right, let me make it a little bit easier for you. What are the different forms of help desk that we use when we basically help out users? Eddie, go ahead.
I think the two types of help desk are MSPs, managed service providers, and desktop support.
Okay. All right, that's done? That's your answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, desktop and use the MSP. Okay. Haifa, go ahead.
I'm so sorry, I got a brain freeze. I was going to say desk side support, remote.
What's that, sorry?
Desk side support, remote support, and MSP.
Okay. All right, thank you. Kama, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
The first one is IT support specialist, and the next is help desk support, IT support and help desk support specialist or something.
Okay.
Done.
All right, let me enter. All right. So Blanca, you just joined in. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to answer the first question if you're there. Basically, we asked, tell me about yourself and why did you choose why did you choose to apply to this position? If you're available, would you like to come and say that on the mic? So Blanca, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi,
Okay.
everybody.
So the question is, tell me about yourself and why did you choose to apply to this position?
Pass. I think about it.
Are you thinking? Okay, we're not getting a response right here from Blanca. So, all right. There's a message. Let's see. I think she's passed. Okay, passed. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next question over here. Let's see. This is a question right here, and let me know. And you guys can raise your hand and let me know what you guys think of this. All right. Go ahead. What metrics are used to track help desk performance? Anybody? Go ahead, Eddie.
I'm not 100% sure, but I would think some of the metrics would be number of tickets handled per hour or per day.
Mm-hmm.
And time spent on each ticket. These are educated guesses. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kama, go ahead.
Just like Eddie said, the number of tickets resolved. That's all.
All right. Haifa, go ahead.
Just like they said, the number of tickets, customer satisfaction, response time.
Mm-hmm. Response time. Okay.
That's all I have.
John?
Yeah, I was going to add, but somebody beat me to it, that the number of resolved tickets would probably be the most important metric that I could see.
Okay. All right. Coming back to another question, and then I'll let if there's anybody who wants to ask a question. Here you go. So this question: what are your greatest strengths? Go ahead and raise your hand, and let's get started with that. John, go ahead.
Understanding the user, trying to get to the root of the problem, what they're saying, because typically, or in many cases, the user really doesn't know how to explain what's actually going wrong. So getting to the root of the problem and then writing it down so that if I have to escalate it to a higher engineer or something, they would understand what the problem is if I can't resolve it. So just seeking clarity would be the ability to find clarity would be my greatest strength.
Who's that, Eddie?
I believe that my greatest strength is, over the years, people tend to like me. I'm pretty friendly, and I'm good with people. After 20 years of service industry, I'm pretty good at connecting with people on a personal level.
Okay.
That's it.
Haifa?
I was going to say compassion and customer service. I'm very good at understanding people, very good at de-escalating heated situations. Very good at trying to give a customer or a client what they need in a timely manner.
Perfect. All right. The next question is, of course, with the same. What are your actually here? Let me just make sure that I got the right answer right. What are your greatest weaknesses? Let me move this right so you guys can see it. There you go. So go ahead and raise your hand and let us know about your weaknesses. Go ahead, John. John, go ahead. Am I live? Did I lose everybody or what?
No, you're still good.
No, we're still here.
Okay, so John.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, okay.
That's a trick question that one gets on every interview for every sort of job.
Mm-hmm.
I never know how to answer it. I'm reminded of a funny commercial once where somebody gets that question and he says, my greatest weakness is I care too much. I just kind of pass on that, but I don't want to say that I'm dodging the question. I'm directly answering it. It's just a trick question.
Okay. Go ahead, Haifa.
Sometimes I tend to be a perfectionist, which can lead to a lot of time invested in a specific project, but at the same time, I try to get it done to its fullest.
Okay. Eddie.
Haifa beat me to it. I tend to be a perfectionist, so sometimes I can get a little too locked into an issue, and I have to remind myself to move on and be able to multitask.
Okay. All right. So.
Danish, I'm sorry, but you keep missing Kama for the last question in this one. I don't know if you can see him.
Who?
Kama?
Oh, Kama, are you there? Sorry, I didn't see the raise right now. I just saw it.
Yeah.
For the last question as well.
Yeah, the last question
let me
is
answer this one.
Yeah, go ahead and answer this one now. Let me
Okay.
ask you, Kama, like this: what is your greatest strengths and your greatest weaknesses? You can just say that in combined shot.
No, it's a handful. Eh?
That's how people are gonna ask, right?
My first is the what? The greatest what?
Your greatest strength.
Strength.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. My strength is that I can get around some trouble tickets and behind and alone, and as well I can also be a team player. As for weakness, I will say that I have this mentality of never giving up. So whenever I get I have something that I cannot solve, I get to an extreme of some frustration. So I tend to change some moods or something. That's it.
That's it? All right.
Mhm.
Okay. This is a very common question.
Blanca wanted to answer it too, I think.
Blanca, do you want to answer that?
Yes.
Go ahead. Greatest strength and weaknesses.
My greatest weakness is sometimes I have a hard time to saying I have a hard time saying no to any request from a coworker, and I ended up being burned out for whatever project stuff I'm supposed to do.
And your strengths.
My greatest strength, I don't know, maybe ability to learn from my mistakes, and also the dedication and the enthusiasm.
Okay.
Yes.
Kev, do you have any questions? You wanna jump in, or do you want me to continue with my questions?
I'm gonna ask a question. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Give me 2
So
seconds.
we'll take a minute break. And what do you guys think so far? You guys think that is it okay? I mean, like this nothing. This is the basics, right?
So it's not as scary as I thought. I'm glad I didn't skip.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
the reviews are gonna come after this. That's why we're making notes right now. So
I'll skip that one.
The one thing I could say is when you're answering the questions, tell a little bit of a story behind it. Don't just answer it like, you know, A, B, or C. Tell a little bit of story behind it, like, you know, make it a little bit more interesting for the person hearing it, not just like, oh, it's this and that. You know, my weakness is I'm not very good with people.
I would add this in the review. The reason don't do it now, because naturally give me the answer, because that's how you're gonna get the natural response too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I thought we were supposed to keep them short just because we have so many people. I'm a little confused about that. So would you like us
No, that's short doesn't mean that you're gonna give an answer to like, tell me your greatest strengths. I am very positive. So you just stop it right there. You're gonna finish whatever you want to finish. But what it is,
that's like the only thing I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yes, you can go and let me ask you this, because this is a mock interview. This is not a real interview. You guys can always go back and say, let me correct it, because that's before my review, right? So you learn, you fix. That's fine.
I want to correct them.
If you feel like you want to correct something, let's do it after. When we finish this, I'm gonna give you a chance to correct whichever questions you guys want to correct it. Still, I'm not gonna give you my response. Even in this session, it's gonna be a very basic response, because what I like to do, I'm gonna analyze your answers, and because you guys have a different backgrounds, some of my answers or other people's answers may not be correctly targeting you. What do you mean? Let me give you an example. You're a live member. You got something different going on than a normal person that's watching this video, right? So there's a difference between answers over there too. And we're going to talk about this later on, okay? That's the reviews that I'm going to give you to make yourself better, right? So, Kev, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys are ready? Guess so.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
A user is upset and pissed off. How do you alleviate the situation and stop them from getting angry?
Go ahead and raise your hand, guys, so we know who's going to be taking on this. John, Haifa. Go ahead, John. John, you're mute.
I'm sorry you're having a bad day, first of all, but I'm here to help you. And if you could just explain the issue to me, I promise I'll help you, or I'll get somebody who will help you right away. So I would try to calm the person down that way, just with my own demeanor, and then just get the facts of the issue and deal with it.
Okay. Haifa?
I would do something along the same lines, try to understand exactly what's upsetting the customer. Tell them that we're going to do whatever we can to resolve this issue. Give them a good time frame, not a fake one. Like, I'm not going to say I'm going to fix your Outlook in 5 minutes if it's going to take longer than that.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
When the answer is given, make sure you guys don't say, I'm going to do the same as the first person. This is a direct question to you, right?
Okay.
So give me the answer, how you're going to respond to this question with nobody in the room, right?
Okay.
So go ahead and give it another try.
Let me pause so I can rethink. Can Eddie go before me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Eddie, you want to go?
Sure. I would reassure the customer that he has my full attention and that I will do everything in my power to help him to the best of my abilities. And if I cannot resolve the problem in a timely manner, then I can ask for help from one of my supervisors.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kev, you have more?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm waiting for people to answer.
Oh, sorry.
Comments on there, and I'll
all
go
right, guys,
after
I'm not thinking properly. Make sure you guys stop me because sometimes I'm not looking at the screen. So, Kama, you want to go first, or Haifa, you want to go first?
If Kama doesn't mind going first, I'm having.
Okay, Kama, do you want to go?
Okay, I'll say. Say, I'm sorry, we are facing the. Come on. Can Haifa go first, please?
I got you.
All right, fine.
So I'll speak to the customer, ask them exactly what the problem is, reassure them that hopefully everything has a solution. Give them a good time frame as to when the issue will be resolved. If they're worried about losing their, let's say they wrote an email, I'm not going to promise them that we can keep that document, but I will promise the best to my abilities, and if I have to escalate it, then to their abilities, that we're going to try to keep their hard work, and if we can't, then we'll resolve it by any means possible.
Who wanted to go? Kama, you want to go after this now?
Let it pass for now.
You want to pass this? Okay.
Yeah,
Me.
too much running on my mind.
Okay, Blanca, go ahead.
I will first of all listen to the customer, and then and I will show them that I'm paying attention, and then I will make sure this will not happen again, maybe by calling my supervisor. That's all.
Do we have any other people to answer this question in the room right now? Raj, welcome. Okay, nobody? So go ahead, Kev, you can move on to another question.
Okay, sure. A user calls in saying that they have an internet browser that they can't open a specific website. How do you troubleshoot that? How do you resolve that issue?
Go ahead and Haifa, raise the hand. Go ahead, Haifa.
First, I would ask what the website is and try to open it from my computer. Ask them if they have tried to open it from a different browser. And then if it works from a different browser, then maybe the cache has to be cleared. And now I'm blank.
Okay. You done?
Yes.
All right, Eddie, go ahead.
I would ask the customer if to double check if he spelled if he typed the website incorrectly, I would also try to connect to the website from my computer. And also I would try to ping the website from my computer. And if I can connect, then it may be some sort of issue, connectivity issue on his side, from his computer. And that's it. There's probably more things to do, but I honestly cannot think of it at this moment.
Okay. John, go ahead.
Yeah, in addition to what everyone else has said, all good comments. Try it from your own browser. Suggest that the user try it from a different browser if possible. Check the spelling of the website. Suggest that perhaps this site is one of those blacklisted sites. That could be an issue. Maybe it has to be added to an allowed list. Also, is there any error message that's popping up perhaps? I would add that too. That's it. Yes.
Again, reminder, make sure you don't say just like what other people said. Okay, you're alone in the room. You're not going to be in a group interview like this. Okay, for just a reminder. Kama, go ahead.
Yeah, first I will ask the user to use a different web browser, and then secondly, if it doesn't work, I will try it from my computer, and if it doesn't, then maybe I will contact maybe it could be the some security feature from the network admins or something.
Okay.
Done.
All right.
May I have
A question.
Okay. Blanca, you don't really raise your hand, so I get confused. So
I can see. I can see.
okay, that's fine. Just say me. That's fine. Whenever somebody's done, just make sure to say me in there.
Okay.
It's in the participant. When you click on the participant, there's like a little 3 dots. You click on that, and then there's an option. But don't worry about it. You just have to say that, okay? So I don't skip you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and say that.
I would suggest to restore the device, and if the restoring doesn't work, I'll suggest to switch the browser, and that's it.
Okay. All right, Kev. Raj is there too. Okay, Raj, go ahead.
Yeah, I would probably clear the browser's cache, and so sometimes if the website is if the old website is still there, then if you clear the cache, it will actually bring in a new website. Another way is I'll do a DNS flush. So sometimes it could be maybe the web server could change its IP address maybe for some reason, and the computer is actually pointing to the DNS in the computer is pointing to the old DNS entry. So I'll go to ipconfig and then /flush DNS.
Okay, so since you brought up DNS flush, what's the full command of the flushing the DNS?
ipconfig /flush DNS.
All right, good job. Is there anything you want to add to this question? Now, Raj, one rule for you, because you are an IT professional, you're going to answer the last one in this panel. Don't mind me. It's just that we don't want to give out too much information before somebody answers. Okay?
Okay, bro. No problem, bro.
So just go the last one. No discrimination here. All right. So
Raj, send me the answers in private.
you guys can do that. Okay. So Kev, you want to move on?
One more question and that's it for me.
Okay.
So we have problems where we have high volume phone calls and help desk. How would you take somebody off a phone if you have an issue with, because we get high volume phone calls. So how do you take somebody off a phone if you're trying to resolve an issue for somebody else?
Could you explain that a little bit more?
So
like, are you fixing their problem?
Yeah, I didn't understand
also?
the question either.
So there's a high level of volume phone calls in my company where I'm working at. How would you take somebody off the phone if you're dealing with another issue?
so you're not sorry, I'm just going to clarify. So you're not fixing their issue, but they're on the phone.
No, you're
Is
the
there a
IT.
ticket
You're the IT professional. How would you take them off the phone if you have another issue you have to take care of?
I don't get it. I don't understand the question.
Can you guys raise the hand so we know who that is? Okay, Kev, ask one more time so then I can probably ask
So
that.
we work in a busy environment. So you're the IT professional. Say, for example, you're the IT professional and there's a phone call that comes in. How do you stop that person from getting, how will you stop them from getting off the phone because you have to take care of another issue that's going on right now, basically?
Eddie, do you want to go?
Yes, I would very politely let them know that we have a high call volume at the moment, and we would I would love to help him out. Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm on another call, and can he leave his callback info, and I'll get back to him as soon as I can. And I would also give him some sort of time frame as 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so that he, won't be waiting around all afternoon.
All right, Kama, go ahead.
I will ask them politely, like, say, let me get back to you in 5 minutes. Then I will note whatever, maybe his name or her name, and then the number. And then I will answer the other calls, then get back to him or her later on.
Okay. Haifa?
I would politely direct them to where they can create a ticket online, whether they can email it to me or if they can access the website and put in their inquiry through there, and let them know that we would get back to them just as soon as the call volume brain freeze. Just as soon as the call volume calms down a little bit.
Okay. Who's there next to after this? Is Blanca? You wanna try?
I will put them. I will let them know that this right now there's a high volume calls, and I will check the call back number and let them know that I will call them back.
Okay. Raj, do you want to go?
Yeah, I think I agree with Aifa. I think that is a good answer because some of the tickets can be actually done online. You actually don't need to call at all. So you can actually do a ticket online or email or something like that, and then that will be pushed to the appropriate department.
Okay. So just maybe you were not here before I made the rule. Raj, you're alone in the room, so there's no hyphen in your room. So when you give it, okay.
Then I would probably take his name and his contact number, and then I will call him back.
Okay. John, you raised the hand. Are you trying to you want to answer this, or did you answer?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't.
Actually, this happens to me sometimes where I call a busy office and they'll say, "We're really busy. Can you hold on a minute?" Or can we take your phone number and call you back? So this is what I would do to that user in as apologetic way as possible. Explain that we're just having a very busy day, and can I just take your phone number and I'll call you back?
Okay. Kev, you have more, or this is the last one?
No, that's the last one for now. I wanted to mention it because that does happen in real life. You're gonna be doing phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for now.
Yeah, and we'll come back to this on notes and talk about a specific thing that you guys answer. Steven, do you want to try something? Do you have some questions?
Yes, I do.
That's
I
all
want
right.
to Donish today, the manager, for joining here, and Kevin being on the IT side. My question to you guys is, my first question, I have a couple of them here. My first one is, why are you leaving your current position? Can you please tell me why?
Haifa, go ahead.
I'm looking for a better opportunity, somewhere where I can grow and learn from from my surroundings. I feel like in my last company, I reached the absolute potential that I could, and I'm trying to find somewhere new to grow.
So since you said that, okay, now this is where things are going to get a little tricky and advanced, not advanced. Since you said that in my last company, you are saying that you are actively working. So what was your day like in your company, the last company that you just talked about?
This is a hypothetical company, right?
Yeah.
We all know
because
that
you
I
said
haven't
that
worked
now I'm
in
working, so now I'm going to counter it.
17 years. I'm sorry, 7 years. I'm sorry, could you ask your question again, Danish?
How was your normal day like in your last company?
9 to 5, handling tickets, requests, and clients.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just giving more to talk.
Mainly it was over the phone support. Very rarely was it desk side support.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and answer, Kama. It's your turn.
I would like to Stephen to repeat the question quickly. Sorry for that, please.
Okay.
No problem,
So
sir. My question was, what's the question again? Oh, why are you leaving your current position?
As for me, I'm actually self-employed. By this, I mean I help family and friends with their computers when they are having trouble with their computers. So moving to this company, I think I will gain more experience working with with other IT professionals and learning from them and working in a team as well. That's it.
John.
Yeah, hi. Well, I'm leaving my current position not because I don't like anything about it. It's been a wonderful place, but I want something different. One reaches a point where you've kind of given everything you can give and learned everything you can learn in one spot, and I'd like to go to a different place where I can give it just a different kind of value to people, and I can learn new things and solve challenges all day long.
Who's next? Eddie?
Yeah, well, I need more, I feel as if I need more of a challenge. And at my current job, I bartend, and I've pretty much done it all, celebrity weddings. I've worked for mixology companies. It's been great, the whole customer service thing and making cocktails. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's hard to pay the bills. So I would love to start a career where I can learn new things and earn more money. And the key for me is at my age, it's not that I don't enjoy my job. I've been doing it for about 23 years. It's just that I think that I need a job with more upward mobility. And I think IT would be the perfect thing since I enjoy computers and technology. Thank you.
Blank?
Because I desire a career change to gain a new skill and to grow my current skill. That's all.
Who's next? Raj?
Yeah, because I love computers and this new job could provide me an opportunity to show my skill set.
All right, Steven, you got there's nobody else, I guess, right?
All right, I got the next question is, why do you want to work here?
So Blank, your hand is raised. Anybody else?
I have a comment. I don't know if that question is fair because there's no, I didn't have time to research an actual company that you guys, the culture and whatnot from the company for us to use that.
Okay.
I mean, that's my input. I don't know if everyone else feels that way.
Well, let's see.
Oh,
That's your.
my
That's your.
question.
Same here. Same here.
Okay.
Well,
Steph,
like,
what do
why do you want to work? It's like, okay, why did you apply to whatever? You know, whatever a job you applied to. Like, what was your motivation to apply for it? Why do you want to work for this company? What brought you into filling out that application? You know, and getting here. Well, I'll put it that way.
And it's fine if you guys still feel like that's still something that you cannot defend based on no knowledge in this mock interview. That's fine.
Sorry, I feel like I can give a very general answer to that.
Yeah, give it a try.
I would say I read into the culture of the company. I've had friends who work here, and they speak very highly of the community and how the team works together. And that's something I truly care about: teamwork, how people communicate with each other, and that's it for me.
All right. Blanca, your hand is raised. Blanca, are you there? You're on mute. She will come back later. John, you there?
Yes, hi. So, well, I assume this is a help desk position, and that's what I want. I want to work with smart people, learn from, learn from this team, become part of it, come up to your standards. I think I can do that, and I would welcome the chance to prove it.
All right. Who's next? Eddie?
Yeah, I would like to work here because I heard great things about the company. I did some research, plus I know a couple of people who work here, and they said it's a great place to work, opportunities to move up, and that you're constantly learning, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. A job where I'll be learning new things every day. It'll keep things interesting. Plus, I also heard that you have a casual dress code, and that's a great plus for me. I've been wearing a shirt and tie for the past 40 years. It'd be nice to come to work dressed casually for once.
Well, that will be only on Fridays. You know, that's, you know, Monday through Thursday. You know, we got the professional. Fridays is casual day.
I can do that.
On it out there. All right, just so you know.
All right. Who's remaining? Is it Blanca? Are you there?
Me.
Oh, Kama. Sorry, I was messed
Yes.
up with it. Where?
So I will say, comparing to what I'm doing at the moment, where I help just a few friends and family, and to this company where it is where it has 500 plus users, I see this as an opportunity to challenge myself and with troubleshooting some getting or say solving or learning from other professionals. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Who's left? Blanca?
Said because because the company offer better opportunity to grow, and also I will show the company. I will help the company grow by using my skill, and also that's all.
All right. Raj? Maybe he's not in the right. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead, Steven.
All right, my next question is, do you prefer working by yourself or working in a team?
Haifa, go ahead.
I think both of those have their own advantages and disadvantages. I love working in a team when necessary, but I also love working by myself.
Kama?
Having been working by myself, I will say maybe working in a team is an advantage since you get help from others. Thank you.
That's it? Okay, thanks. Eddie?
I actually have done both in college. I worked in teams to build and develop an amphibious vehicle with fellow classmates. And then I'm okay working alone also. So I guess if I had to choose one, I'd say I like working in a group. Thank you.
Is that John?
I think one of my strengths is being flexible. So I'll adapt to whatever I have to adapt to, whether working with people or being on my own. I'm perfectly fine on my own, but I recognize that, when you join a team, you have to be a team player. That's the way it is. And I give it my full cooperation.
Okay. Who's there next? Anyone who wants to come up next? I don't see that hand, so just come up on the mic. If nobody's there, just go ahead and Steven, you can go ahead.
Is that anybody else? Should I get the next one?
Yep.
Tell me about a challenging situation and how you overcame it.
That's a good one. They're definitely gonna get that. Eddie, go ahead.
I remember once when I was in college, we had to build for our senior. I have a mechanical engineering degree, by the way, and when I was in college, we had to build an amphibious vehicle, and I went to it was an amphibious dune buggy, and in the history of the university I went to, City College of New York. This had never been done, even though there were chapters of the Society of Automotive Engineers, which were the people sanctioning the race for students. But we had to design a vehicle, and being that we were the school didn't have a lot of money, let's put it that way. So we had to improvise, initially we wanted to build a car using chromoly steel, which is very cheap. But it was weird. The school didn't have a chromoly account, so we had to use aircraft grade aluminum. So you need a special welder for aircraft grade aluminum. Well, we don't have that because we're a poor school. We don't have a lot of money. So we ended up bolting the thing together. We figured out that you could bolt the car together, and we did it. We built this amphibious vehicle. We bolted it together using aircraft grade aluminum. It floated, and we ended up going to Orlando to compete. So we overcame a lot of challenges just to get that car going. So you just have to find a way sometimes.
Nice job. Nice
job. John?
Yeah, challenge and how I overcame it. Well, for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been freelancing. And when you freelance, you're just basically working, in many cases, short-term gigs. And sometimes these gigs end unexpectedly. And that's always a challenge. What do you do then? And this is sort of a negative. I don't give up. I just start hustling like crazy, and I'll go in 100 different directions and knock on 100 doors until something comes through. Try to learn new skills, whatever it takes. And I give this advice to my friends who, when this happens to them, when something a job ends unexpectedly, sometimes they take this deer in headlights attitude of like, what do I do now? Let me just wait till the economy comes back or whatever it is. But I don't do that. I just put my head down and shoulder to the wheel and push forward. And I do not give up. That's it.
Haifa?
So this is a true story. When I was 21, and you have to remember that back then Saudi Arabia was not what it is today. The freedom for women then was very limited. We weren't even allowed to work in like at the mall. We weren't allowed to work at stores there without security guards and being at the door so that men wouldn't enter. Now you're talking Saudi Arabia back, what, 11 years ago. So it's very, very different now. But back then when I was 21, I started my own awareness group against all, all the advice that I got. The only people pushing me and the only people who motivated me and stood by me when I decided to do this were my parents. And the first topic I started with was child abuse prevention, which is very, very, very taboo to speak about in Saudi Arabia. And I launched a huge campaign there, and I got so much backlash for it. But we kept pushing forward, and we continued to do campaigns for the next 3 or 4 years until I was headbutting with the government or people from the government for the whole time, but until it eventually got to a point where I don't want to say this on a recording, but anyway, I had to finally.
I can pause it if you want me to.
If you don't mind, yeah.
Thank you. Who's next? Kama?
Yes, it's me. Mine was back in college where we were installing, we were working on some desktop and we were installing hard drives. So I installed a hard drive. On my way to installing this hard drive, I pulled out a memory card and set it in my pocket. So I assembled everything then, and I closed the system box, then plugged it in. Boom! It couldn't. So I faced the blue screen of death. So after a few while, I went back to my pocket and I felt something in my pocket. Then it was the memory card. Plugged it back in, and boom! It worked. So that was maybe a blunder or something. That's it.
Is there anybody there? Blanca, have you been there? Blanca? All right, so if there's nobody, then we can move on.
All right, the next question. How do you deal with pressure at work?
Another common one. Hey guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, okay? Steven, you got a control and Kev Tech, okay? I'm gonna come back in a second.
What was your question, Steven?
How do you deal with pressure at work?
Got it. Okay, cool.
Anybody want to start?
Does John want to go first? Because he raised his hand first.
Sure. Yeah, pressure is tough. I've tried all sorts of things, meditating. In terms of what I can do in terms of the job, I try to just stay as organized as I can. But sometimes it's just, there's so much going on. It does get to you. And I'll try meditating, try to get my sleep. Just try to tell myself to calm down, just do the best you can. But that's a tough one, yeah. That's it.
Kevin, do you want to wait for Stephen and Danish to come back, or do you want us to continue?
Oh, he's here.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
I just have my kid here, so I'm kind of like blocking.
Okay. Eddie, do you want to go before me?
I'm sorry. Did you say you wanted me to go first, Haifa?
If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
No, not a problem. I guess I would deal with pressure at work. I'm big on, if it's possible, step away for a second, go for a quick little walk or a stretch, or do some deep breathing. Anything to allow me to reset and maybe let the client calm down a little. But that's normally what I do. I'll either step away, do a little deep breathing at my station, and or you know, sometimes you just have to vent with a coworker. Just a few words with a coworker sometimes can diffuse the tension. That's how I would deal with it.
For me, I actually have techniques to kind of calm me down. I have a 5-4-3-2 technique. I don't know if any of you, side note, have looked that up, but also some breathing techniques. I would also go out for a walk and try to calm myself down, or take a little break, maybe grab some coffee, and then go back to the situation with a refreshed mind. Kama, I think you're next.
Yep. Usually I just take a break. On this break, like a 5 minutes break, and during these 5 minutes, I always try to think of something positive or something that made me laugh. So I will joke about something in my head and get back to it. That's it.
Okay, John. Did he win? Oh, you already won?
I think, I don't know if I'm saying this wrong, but maybe
Blanca, you there? You want to go over this one? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I will remain calm and stay focused. And then maybe I can call a coworker for help. That's how I can handle it.
Okay. Anybody else? Steven, you got more questions?
Yes.
Good, go ahead.
What do you consider to be your biggest failure?
Mm.
Yeah. Always a tough one.
Go ahead, Blanc.
I think it's Eddie.
Eddie, sorry. Eddie, go ahead.
Yeah, I think my biggest failure was probably in college. It's another college story. We had a senior design project where we had to create a mechanism that would we had to design a device that would jump 3 meters across 2 tables, and it sort of had to be kind of autonomous. And I don't want, wait, that's the wrong word, autonomous. That's a robotics. But we had to design a piece of equipment that could jump across a chasm. It was kind of, we put 2 tables apart, and it had to be 3 meters apart. Well, anyway, I got it stuck in my head that I was going to use a spring mechanism with a latch, and I did all of these math calculations, and everything worked on paper, but I couldn't execute I couldn't get it to work mechanically. And I was given the opportunity by the teacher, by the professor, to switch tactics, to try something different. And I got a little too locked into my thing because I was so sure it was going to work, and I didn't get it to work. And so I learned that early on that you have to be flexible. I got a little too locked into my idea, and I ended up I did complete the project, but obviously it didn't work. So that's what I learned. I learned that you have to be flexible, and that was my biggest disappointment, failure.
Haifa?
I actually don't believe in failure unless you eventually die and can't retry. So every maybe hump that I've been through in life, I feel like is not a failure, but something to learn from.
Any example? Would you like to share any example of any failure that you have done and you learned from it?
Let me think and come back. Again,
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a failure, but yeah.
All right.
Let me think.
All right, John, are you there?
I don't believe in failure. I think one learns from every experience. Um, and, failure brings its own wisdom. That's it.
Do you have any example to share from anything that you think that is not failure and you learn from it?
There's a million times where, you'll give the wrong answer or do the wrong thing. But that was the best answer or act that you had at the time. And I'm not sure what could have done better at that point. You just keep going forward and learning from it. So no.
Okay. Kama, go ahead. Kama, are you there?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I think anything I do not succeed, I consider is not as a failure, but something I will want an opportunity to work around it next time. So as for failure, I don't believe in it.
Okay.
While I'm still alive.
Still alive. Okay. And who's left? Banka?
Can I? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to do my example.
If you want to do example, go ahead and finish it so we can add it.
I used to be a marketing and public relations executive in Saudi Arabia for a educational learning center, English educational learning center. I launched an advertisement. I created and launched an advertisement onto a newspaper. Mm-hmm. And I signed off on, I created it. I sat down with the designers and did everything. And in the advertisement, I signed off on it. It went to print and got released. And I didn't realize that the number had the phone number to the center had an extra digit in it. Mm-hmm. And so, again, it wasn't a failure, but it was something to learn from, a huge mistake that I made. I costed the company a good
$1 million.
A good amount of, no, it wasn't that much, but a good amount of money to correct that mistake.
Okay, thank you. Blanca, you want to answer this?
Yeah. Early in my career, I learned a lesson when I communicated with a client. This leads to a loss of revenue for the department. And then when I realized what I have done wrong, I immediately took responsibility. And then I went to the client and I explained the missing details and why I had overlooked communicating these details. And then the client respected my honesty. And even though it took a little while, we finally got the client to work with us again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else want to answer this question or?
Sorry, bro, my internet got down. Is it possible you can repeat the question again?
Steven, you want to give it a try?
Yeah.
He just got in, so sorry.
What was the question again?
Talk about your failure.
What do you consider your biggest failure?
Raj, did you get that?
Oh, okay. I was working in this IT company while I forgot to, when you get a Windows update, you forgot to actually test it on a sandbox. So I got complacent and I basically threw it out to the rest of the computer. So because of my mistake, some of the computer got blue screen. It was a big pain to actually solve it. So yeah, that was one of the mistakes I actually made working in the company.
All right, Steven, you have more?
Yes, I have some more questions.
All right.
This is a little bit of a technical one, guys. Since you guys studied some IT, so we're gonna hit a little bit of a technical question here.
This is the fun part.
These are common ports, well-known common ports. You may be asked this in an interview, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys one, and you guys go around the round table here. Can you guys tell me the port number for Secure Shell?
John, go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Good. Blank.
22.
Do other people have to respond to it to say that is that correct or wrong? Maybe Steven, we should try that in the next one. Don't do this.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Okay, that's fine. So it's 22, right?
Yes, it's 22.
So
Okay.
so let's start the next one,
How
and
about we
let's
go with DNS?
let's say you all passed the first one.
Yes. You guys got all past the first one. How about DNS?
All right.
Domain name system.
Answer.
Who's first? John, go ahead.
Don't know.
Oh no. Okay.
I can
Well,
answer.
Hold
Can
on.
I
Hold on.
go?
Kama is next in my screen. So Kama,
Okay.
53.
what's that?
53.
53. Do you guys
53.
think it's correct? Blanca, you're next. 53 is correct or wrong?
53 is correct.
Okay. What do you think, Haifa?
53 is correct.
53. Eddie,
53 is correct.
are you sure, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Raj?
Yeah, 53 is correct.
Okay. Let's go to next one.
What about hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP? You use it every day of your lives.
Mhm.
Can I use it?
John, okay,
that
Blanca.
that one I know. Oh, okay.
Okay, so hold on. If John knows because he didn't answer the first two, let's try John first, Blanca, okay?
80.
80. Okay, so what do you guys all think? Is it correct or wrong?
Correct.
Correct.
Everybody
Correct.
agree?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was 81, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah, me
So, all right, guys, let's move on to next one.
What about HTTPS?
Blanca, go ahead. You answer this one.
443.
443. Perfect. Anybody else?
Same.
Same? Everybody?
Yep.
Nobody disagree with that?
Correct.
You would have disagreed, I would have failed you right now because I'm the technical guy, right? So Kevin's like, there you go. Now Danish is going to start talking more. So, okay, so go ahead.
What about FTP? File transfer protocol.
Who wants to go first?
Can I go?
Yes, go ahead.
If I could recall correctly, it's 21 and 22. Ports 21 and 22.
Okay, so who gonna give me an answer?
It's 20. I mean,
20
Yes.
and 21.
it's 20 and 21. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 20.
Okay, so you guys all be okay. Who
One
says
for
is,
active and
can it be
something
only
for-
20?
And no, it cannot be only 20.
All right, anybody think that these are the 2 ports, or do we have more ports for FTP?
I remember there's one port for FTP and there's another port for TFTP. So I think 21 is for FTP.
21 FTP,
Okay.
or it's the main one.
All right, so you all got the answer. So
No. TFTP uses port 69, I think.
here's the thing.
But FTP
Do we ask for
uses 20 and
TFTP?
20.
You guys are putting yourself in a hot water,
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Don't put us in hot water.
okay, go ahead, Steven.
How about for IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol?
internet.
3, 2, 1. No time for Googling, guys.
143.
Yes.
That has, no.
Not 143.
Yes, it is.
I thought Steven said no.
I'm just asking to make sure you're correct. What do you guys think? Is she right?
Yeah,
right or wrong?
143.
I'm not
Raj
sure.
said it's right. I think I'm good.
How about this one? How about DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol? I actually want both ports, one for the server side and one for the client side, if you could. This is kind of a technical question. You be asked this.
You don't know? Say I don't know.
67?
I don't know. But
67 maybe.
I
I
think
don't know.
67 rings a bell.
Is that server? Or
68 rings a bell for me, but I'm not sure.
I think it's port number 67 for the server and 69 or something. I don't know, 68 or
68.
69. For the
68
client, yep.
for
Yep,
the client.
68 for the client,
Yeah.
yep.
Yes, I think so too. 68 and 67.
Yeah.
Everybody?
I concur. I think it's 67 and 68.
All right. So when you concur there, Eddie, are you saying 67 is what?
Server.
Okay.
68 is client side.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Yeah, 67 is a server side and 68 is a client side.
That is correct. Yes. Last question, I guess. Switches. What layer of the OSI model does it work in? What layer?
Switch.
Layer 2.
The data link layer?
Data link.
Data link layer 2.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I was going to guess physical, but data link sounds more right.
Okay. How about routers?
How does it layer 3?
People think he's right.
Routers.
I don't
Yeah, he's right.
know routers.
I'm not sure.
Wait, did Raj say it?
Yeah, router is layer 3.
Okay.
Yep. That is correct. And going back to the switches for the OSI model, the best way to remember that as layer 2 is a switch. So that's an S. Just turn it around, flip it around, make it a 2. And then you know what? And then you guys know it's that layer 2.
That's easy.
Going forward. Okay. So, and then layer 3 is the router. Just a little tidbit there. And that's the way I remember it. It's a switch. Oh yeah, it's layer 2 because you just turn it around, it says 2. You know, so that's a good way to remember that going forward if you ever tested on that. But you can also have a switch at layer 2 and layer 3 as well, but the layer 3 part needs to be turned on the switch. So switch can be either layer 2 or layer 3, but normally they're like layer 2.
My trick was this, because hub came first, it was on layer 1, and then switch layer 2, and then the router layer 3. That was my trick. I don't know. Right.
Layer 2 is the switch, and layer 3 would be the router. But you can also have a switch as a router too, but that would be layer like they're called layer 3 switches.
It's called a multi-layer switch.
All right. So do we have any more?
I wanted to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Can someone tell me, how do you add a computer to a domain, a local computer? Walk me the steps from the beginning to the end. How do you add a computer to a domain?
Please raise a hand. John, do you want to go ahead?
Sorry, can I ask a question? Is it already added into Active Directory? So are you only adding it into?
This is a regular computer.
This is a question right here. So say it one more time, and I'm gonna repeat this in a different way. Go ahead, Kev. Just say it one more time.
How do you add a computer, a local desktop computer, to a domain?
A local desktop computer to a domain with, right now, no other hints given right now, right? You're gonna go to a company. This is a very basic knowledge now.
So
I can speak to that.
do you think maybe we should answer this like each person start off where they would start and go person by person, then that would be like adding it, like John would start off like open something, and
but here's the thing. I think
that's a good idea.
My thing with this is that then
it'd be kind of hard.
What if somebody don't know domain at all? And
Right.
I want to know now, out of all of you guys who have raised the hand, when he says that, how do you add a computer to a domain? Let me first ask you one question. Everybody should come up and say that. What is he talking about? What's the main feature he's talking about that we need to add that computer domain? What do we need for that?
So, so should I go? You called my name before.
Yep, go ahead.
So we have to add it to Active Directory. And can I go through the whole process or? Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead. We're going to ask everybody now.
Yeah. Okay. So I would right click on, go through File Explorer, right click on this, this PC, properties, change. There's some change button that comes, a screen that comes up with the change option, and then currently it's in a work group, and you choose the other radio button that says add it to a domain, and you add the name of the domain, say OK, and it should work at that point. It should go. Are you saying something?
You're muted, Danish.
Danish, can't hear you.
Danish, you're muted.
Sorry, so is anybody else disagree with this process? Because the process either is the same or it's not the same. There's going to be that to save our time right now. So let's see. After you is Eddie. Eddie, what do you think? Is this process correct? And Kev, would you accept John's process?
Well, I'm sorry.
Let's wait. Let's let them answer, and then Kev, you can basically give, because I think this is better at this point that we should just say yes or no kind of thing right now, because the first portion was behavioral, so it's more like I took notes, but now it's just technical. You either know, either you don't know, right? So go ahead, Eddie.
I was running through the steps on my computer at home, so I wasn't really listening. Sorry.
Okay, so you're not listening to your computer. Okay, go ahead. One more time, please. Kev, ask your question, because John is not going to repeat himself.
So how do you add a local computer to a domain?
Eddie, go ahead.
Oh, I would right click on the Windows icon. Go to click on System.
Okay.
Then I would click on System Info on the right-hand side. And then another window pops up. And then I would scroll down to Change Settings, where it says Computer Name, Domain, and Workgroup Settings. I would click on Change Settings. And then I would click on Change. And then it says Member Of, and then I would click on the little dot that says Domain and add the domain name.
Okay, do you agree with that, Haifa?
I do agree with that. And then you also asked what's important. The DNS has to match. I think that's what you were referring to when you asked what's important about.
Well, we'll talk about that. So that's your answer?
Yes, the exact same steps that Eddie mentioned.
Okay. Kama, what do you think? Kama, are you there? You're on mute if you are talking. Okay, Kama is not there. Blanca?
Yeah, I agree with it.
You agree with the whole steps? You agree that she
yes.
said that you need a DNS to be, you got to do something with a DNS when you add a computer to a domain in a company?
No.
Okay. So you disagree with her point?
With her point, yes.
Okay. Kev, what do you think? Is this a correct answer?
I also agree.
Kama,
Sorry about my,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about I lost my internet connection. I also agree, but I think I will go an extra mile by going to the domain controller and getting it from there as well. I think
you're going to add it from the domain controller
as well.
How would you do that?
After giving it a name, I think you should go to find the name of the computer and then.
But if the computer is not there, how would you give it? How would you find it? Just say no if you don't know.
If the computer is not, what?
If the computer is not in Active Directory, how would you add the computer to the Active Directory? I think that's the main question, right, Kev?
I'm lost.
You're lost. Okay.
Oh yeah, I want to ask something. Yeah, I want to ask something. Yeah, you have to go to on the network to change the DNS. Yeah.
So you have to go to the network to change the DNS. Is that like a normal process, basically? Like you go to the company and you're gonna always go to a DNS and change it, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So you said right. So Kev, what's your answer to that?
So I was looking for the most part, not everyone, some people got it correct. But you go to C Explorer, you right click on C Explorer, you go into this PC or my desktop, you right click on that, go to properties, then you go to change settings, and then you add the computer to the domain. And then that's it. You know, obviously you go into work group, you change it to domain, you put the domain in, then you put the username and password, you hit OK, and it's going to prompt you to restart. That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, basic, because like I said, if you guys took my training, remember, I repeated that again. DNS is already configured in your company. You don't do this to go to a different company. Imagine if you had to put a DNS in every machine, 300 machines, that would have been a very painful job for you, right? So the DNS stuff is already covered. And that's why I repeated again in my lab that this is a lab. And guys, remember, in the lab, you only need to do this. In the companies, you don't need to do this. So if you try to talk about DNS in the interview, what is going to happen? They're going to, since you talk about DNS, let's talk about DNS then, right? So now,
Danish, I remember in a live training that you told me the DNS does have to match. I remember I watched it I rewatched it a few days ago. And then the way that we did it was a right-click start system, just the way that Eddie did it.
That's what I'm talking about. That I explained that also, that this is not a normal part of a company's procedure. Now, the reason for that is that you're in the lab, a local private network that already has a DNS inside. And that has to, yes, the computer to talk to connect itself to the domain, it needs to know the domain DNS, right? But that kind of stuff is already done for you from a network level. So you don't need to do anything at this level. Like DHCP and DNS in your routing, your switches, it's already configured by your network engineers. They just need to get the addresses, right? And for that, in the fundamental course, if you guys go back to one of my videos where it says, learn from the whole network setup in the real small business way. Remember, there was like 4 or 5 videos. In that, I actually shown this process and specifically defined this process, that why we need to use switch routers to make your job easy and you don't have to do this. But in the lab, I added some warnings out there. So good that you guys learned. Tomorrow, if you guys go to the interview, just don't bring up DNS in there, right? Don't talk about DNS at all. This was just a basic question. How do you add it to your domain? Multiple ways you can add any way. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to test you on a specific way. You can go by right-clicking on the PC, or you can go by system right-clicking on the system. It doesn't matter at all. As long as you start hitting some points out there, like, I'm going to add it to the Active Directory and stuff like that, and it's going to show up over there. And then that's, you give the right answer. There's really no...
I was going to say that I also like, if you're really technical, like really super technical, then I would have said something like, I would ping the domain. So I'll go into CMD, ping the domain, and then see if firewall is blocked on that computer. If the turn off firewall, because you might have to turn off firewall in order for the computer to actually be able to join on the domain. And then after that, all the other steps. But I like the answer you guys gave me. That's the right answer that you gave me, which is, you right click, go to properties, and add a domain. That's the right answer.
Danish, can I add something? There is another way also you can add to the domain, which is through the system settings, the new system settings. And then you go into you go into account, work, and old school, and then you press connect, and then you can also go and add to the domain. This is also another way.
Like I said, since this is a mock interview, I just showed 2 examples, but you can have any example. Even if you come back to me, and I can do this with a command line too, or PowerShell. I know it's going to be a little advanced for you to give me that answer. You shouldn't do that if you don't know your command line, right? But any method, I would accept it as long as you talk about Active Directory in there. As long as you say it's going to show up on Active Directory after I restart the machine. I know what you're talking about, right? The answer is like, I'm looking for someone who knows what they're talking about with this answer, rather than going left and right, or maybe giving me something extra that has nothing to do with domain, right? So that's going to be people kind of like, this person is either using some type of learning, or this person is giving you some information and trying. So they're going to mark things down based on that. Positive or negative, we'll talk about that later on. Is it positive to do this? Is it negative to do this? We're not talking about that right now. This is like the answer that you all given right now. So far, I'll accept it. Even if you talk about DNS, I'll accept it. It's just that, yes, that will throw me a little bit off, but I'll accept it, right? I'm sure Stephen and Kev would agree with me, unless Stephen has a different opinion on this. He's like, I'm not gonna accept it.
I have one more question.
That's good. Good.
How
Good for me.
how? I have one more question. One last question for me. No more questions. How would you resolve an issue of a computer how would you resolve an issue if a computer has fallen off the domain?
That's a good one. Who can volunteer? Kama. Okay, go ahead.
I will use the same steps. Go to Explorer and go to right click on PC, properties, change name, change this computer or change name, and then if it's still on the work group and it's not showing, I will click the work group, then click domain once again. That's it, and try again if it's added or not at the Active Directory.
Okay. Anybody else? We'll get back to the comment.
I'd like to throw one more thing in there. What happens if you never logged into the machine before ever? What would you log in with? It's already off the domain, so and you never logged in the machine. How would you log back into that machine?
You log in
Excuse
using
me?
the built-in administrator account.
Who answered that?
Right.
Raj, do you guys agree with that? Hi-Fi and everybody? Is that the answer that Kama and both them they give? Is that the real answer?
I don't know if.
So let me give you a scenario.
I'm
I'm a CEO. I'm working on my laptop. I came back after vacation. I opened my laptop and I cannot get into my network account. I just called you. How would you guys help me in this situation? Your computer, it says your computer has been dropped by the domain by a security blah 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 reason. It's dropped. You're trying your username. You're the domain admin. You're trying to get into the machine. It's not working. It's not working with your CEO account. So what's your options right here? We're looking for some basics right here. So what would you do to get into that machine as a technical person?
I don't know if this is correct. However, I would check if the account is locked on Active Directory.
So here's the thing. Can anybody answer me right now? Do you think that Active Directory can talk to this machine when it's dropped?
No.
No. Okay. So would that answer would be correct?
No.
No. Okay. Anybody?
Wouldn't we, I'm not sure this is the right answer, but wouldn't there be some sort of I think someone mentioned it before, wouldn't there be some sort of a built-in administrator account that we would be given or not?
I'll take it. I'll take it. What administrator account? So you're gonna log into the machine and you log into the admin account. Then what would you do with it?
No. Wait.
Okay.
How do you log in with a local account on the computer? What do you do?
How do you log
Username
in?
and password. How do you log in?
Through the domain at the bottom. Log in through the I don't know.
All right, so let me share my screen. I think this is more
Not
technical
sure.
stuff, so let's just do it this way. And I have some other stuff to share it quickly, and then we're done with this.
Yep.
Point your screen, portion of the screen. So I am gonna log in, and let me know, guys. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So I'm opening up this lab information here. So, okay, how do I log in to the local account of this machine? Like, what is the name of this machine, or how do I get into this machine?
Go Control-Alt-Delete.
Go
Unlock
Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah.
And hold on. There.
You're
So I'm
trying
gonna
to find out the name of it.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Put the slash or is it called backslash?
Put the backslash here, right?
To find the name is what you're asking, right?
Oh, inside the password or where?
Oh, no, another user. Sorry, I didn't know.
Another user. Okay, so here I'm gonna put the backslash.
Right.
So what's happening? Is it's working?
No.
So what do I do?
How do I sign into another domain?
Anybody else?
I'm not sure. I'm guessing. Do we have to put? I think you have to put dot, then the backslash, then the admin account.
Is it working?
I think he said dot, Danish.
I thought it was 2 dots.
2 dots, he said, yeah. All right.
And then whatever the admin or help desk account. Wait, oh, we're not. I'm not sure what to do after this.
I think I agree with Eddie. I think it must put 1 dot and slash, 1 dot and slash.
This slash or this slash?
There, it says sign into HQ. That's the one. So dot and then backslash.
So now I'm going to show you another screen and you guys tell me what's going on over here. Okay, so now let's go and open up this machine and do what? Alt Control Delete, right? And you guys want me to do what? This is this machine on a domain or a work group right now? Let's say our domain is HQ.
It looks like you're on a domain because it says sign in for HQ on the bottom.
Okay. So was your question, was your answer right? And if it's right, what's the difference over here? And that's a little too advanced for you. Now, you answered it correctly, but remember the other one is a domain controller. That's a server. Okay, this is a desktop. So let's forget the desktop server for now. Is your answer correct or wrong? Your answer is correct. Kevtech, what do you think?
So it's 1 dot backslash.
Yeah, you can do 1 dot. It gives you what? Right now, what are we looking for over here? Okay, when we look for the name, right? So what is the next thing you guys will do right here? So if I do backslash, what do I need to do over here then?
Help desk.
No, but what do we need to log in as then?
The administrator account name.
The administrator account or any other account that is admin. Now here's the thing. Just do remember that if you guys say that, that's fine. But companies may have, like for example, for security purpose, everybody these days disable administrator account, right? Or rename the administrator account for scanning purposes, right? So don't just say, okay, if they ask you, is that the only account you're gonna have in this machine? And then you say, no, any account that we have created when we were creating this machine for the first time, right? That would be, or maybe whatever policies they have, that's just gonna be too much. They're never gonna go into that details. That's up to the company. For your question, the dot slash is okay answers. That's if somebody even asks you, just like Kevtech. Another answer would be, I would just write the computer name because they think you already know the computer names, right, Kevtech? Most of the people probably already know these computer names. You'll just type the computer whole name, backslash, username and password, and you get in. That's it. That's the fix for it. So at your level in interview question, that's the basic answer. And even if you give a wrong answer after this by at least showing these two different commands and you're putting it right, and if it's not working, you pass the interview. At least pass that question.
Okay.
Do you have any more, Kevtech?
No, that's it.
Okay.
No questions about Office 365? I was so excited.
The reason I'm not asking about Office 365, we will do another one, but I want to actually share something else here, and I want to see now some of the really basics right here. Okay. Who can take a lead and connect this whole computer for me and get the connection going? First of all, if you guys are watching me right now, how many of you think, what is this on the right side, this right here?
The back of the monitor.
The back of the monitor.
Yes.
Is that correct, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you guys sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Positive.
Okay. What is the blue? What is the blue? The blue stuff right there. I'm just putting my mouse in it. What's that?
VGA.
port.
Good job. What's on the white side? What's that?
DVI.
Okay, I'm not hearing Haifa over here. I'm not hearing some other people over here, right?
Yep.
Okay, now Haifa, what's this? Right in the middle.
Is it the? Okay, I'm so shy to say this wrong. Is it the Ethernet cable?
Ethernet cable. You're saying that's a cable?
Port.
No, Ethernet port. Sorry.
Ethernet.
Ethernet.
RJ45.
RJ45.
Is that RJ45?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Internet port.
RJ45 port,
Network
right? You could
interface
probably
card.
say that. It'll be accepted answer. I'll accept it. Yes.
How about this for going back to that DVI port? Is that an analog or is that a digital?
Yeah, guys. What's up?
Just by looking at it, can you tell which difference? Because there are different cables for this particular port, which sometimes you grab the wrong cable and you get there and it's like, ah, dang.
I'm guessing it's digital and analog,
Okay.
No.
but that's a guess.
Is that accepted answer, Stephen?
No, that is not an accepted answer. It's one
It's like you
or
put
the other.
you put like
Wait,
two
what's
answers
the
and like there's one is right, one is wrong.
What's the question? Sorry.
Digital.
The white one.
Yes,
What's that? He's asking, is this analog or digital?
digital.
Stephen, what do you think?
Digital.
Why is it digital? What makes it digital? How can you tell this by visually seeing it?
I don't know. I just remember doing that.
Let me
and,
take a guess.
and test out.
Who wants to take a guess?
Me.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead.
I think within the ports there, within the number of what is it? The pins there. If it was analog, there could be some space in between.
Is that correct?
Stephen, what do you think?
Close. But
Yeah.
see the little slash thing right there? The little slash. Right, that is your telltale sign between a plus and a minus on those things. If you do some more research about DVI ports, you'll see a plus and a minus there.
There's one with a plus and like it's like it looks like a plus sign and then it has dots 1, 2, 3, 4 around the plus
Check my
sign.
camera.
There you go.
Yeah. So that one would be analog, right?
Give an answer, everybody. I showed you two different things right here. Look at this. Look at the back.
The one on the computer is digital.
Okay.
Yeah, this is why DVI was kind of stupid when it came out.
Yeah.
So guys, one
Thank
other
God.
thing about this is that in the interview, again, it's about the interview, right? You guys should definitely know about the different cables, but the only problem with this, we have so many different cables that it's not like something that you're really gonna get failed on this type of thing. If you say that this is DVI and that's the VGA, to me, that's accepted for level 1, okay? If you were to work for some hardware shop, to be honest, I would not let this go, right? Because you're just working for a very much hardware stuff, and most likely you guys are 90% not gonna go towards that route. We're just doing hardware stuff, right? Because that's not how you guys prepared for this career. Okay, who can help me connect this whole computer till I get my connection? So who wants to take a lead in this? So first of all, what do I need over here for a computer to get connected and get it working?
The power.
The power, good job. So first thing, of course we need the power. So we're gonna get power right here. So how many, do we have power right here? Cables, and where's the power? Is this the power?
That one.
Is that a power?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so what do? I'm gonna put this section of the power right here, or this section right here?
No, the first one, the one with the hole.
Okay, I'm sure you guys will not mess this up, right? That's gonna be crazy. Then you put this right here, and then where do I put this one?
Into the wall.
Into the wall. Okay. So now, what else do we need for these two devices to get connected? And before these two devices to get connected, what else do we need for the CPU side of it?
You need to connect the CPU to the power.
To the power, right? So let's go ahead and connect that, and we're gonna connect that. So now let's go to the front, and let's go to the front. Turn on the CPU. It's not turning on. It's not showing on our monitor.
Right.
So
we need to connect them to each other. Would you like me to give someone else a shot?
Yes. Go ahead. Anybody else? Anybody else?
We need to connect the video cable.
Okay. So let's go back, right?
Yeah.
So which cable should I use? This one? Ethernet?
DVI.
No.
I can't see.
You also need to flip the back of the.
But it's look blue. It looks blue. I think I should try that. No, just kidding.
Okay,
so we're gonna.
You need to flip the CPU as well.
Okay, so we're gonna put this right here and it's not working. Why is that?
What is that?
Which cable you use?
which one are we using right here? Tell me, is it white one or
The
blue
white one.
White one, okay. So let's try the white one.
Oh, yeah.
And what do I do with this end?
And to the back of the system unit.
To the back of the system unit. So let's go to the front,
yeah.
and we fire it up again, right? It's not working.
Ah.
Go at the back of the system unit and
You have to do it.
and
maybe is it you
press
need to go
the-
to the monitor and change between TVI and VGA?
We have to go
No,
to
you
the
have to go to
somewhere.
input devices.
switch.
Okay.
The switch here.
All right. You guys are, here's the thing.
I know where it goes.
Let me tell you, you guys have only 10 seconds to figure this out. I click here, turn on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It might be the
Put
voltage
the
switch
power
on
on the
PSP.
monitor. Click the power on the monitor.
Ah, okay. I already told you that power this right here. You guys were missing something very basic, right? So.
Oh, I thought the thing on the monitor, like the thing that was coming up, I thought that was on the monitor. Okay, my bad.
Okay. Okay, so I powered it on. So what happened then?
It's going on. Test out.
It's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fix this issue?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's good. You guys did a fix, but what's up with this? Our user is calling you that, guys, you guys gave me a new monitor right now. So this is an interview question. You guys set up a new computer and a user is complaining that whenever they click on internet right here, let's go ahead, internet,
not connected.
and it's
The
not
CPU
connected.
is not connected.
So how do I connect it?
You have to go to the back of the CPU.
I have to go to the back of the CPU. So what do we do then?
And then connect the RJ45 cable.
You connect back the RJ45 cable, okay? And then I go here, and then I just put it here, right? This RJ one right here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one into the wall. The other side of it into the wall.
Which one? Which one? Blue or red?
Red.
Blue.
Blanca, I don't hear you.
I said blue. Blue.
Red.
Where? Blanca, you said blue. It says no.
Red.
Wrong.
Okay, red. Huh? Okay.
Wrong. That's the different line. That's not the RJ45. Is it gonna work?
Yes, the internet will work.
Okay, the internet will work. Are you guys confirmed about that? Is it like a, okay. So can we test it?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Why do you say the internet will work?
Because you connected it.
How do you confirm that?
Connected to the network.
Good
I
question.
mean, yeah, you have to sign on to the
Here's
network.
the thing. Good question. If you get connected to the internet, now you guys did a great job. You guys connected the machine. Great job to the internet. How would you verify that to me?
Right click on the network thing on the bottom.
Okay, I'll right click on it and then do what?
Open network internet settings.
Open internet network settings then.
Honestly, to confirm, I would do something much more simple. I would just open like a
Yeah, agreed.
What's it called? A browser and see if it's working. If it's not, then I would go to network settings.
Yeah.
So you say you're gonna just go straight to the browser and
if it's connected, we're connected. If not, then I would troubleshoot.
So let's say it's basically the browser is not available in our lab. What do we do now? How would you confirm? Because browsers, yes.
Oh, okay.
It can have an issue with the browser too, with the website, right?
Go.
That wouldn't be
open command.
We would go to Ethernet.
Open what? Somebody said something else too. So you're gonna do open what?
Oh yeah.
Command
What's the
line.
command? Show me.
CMD. Type CMD.
And do what with CMD?
Press enter.
Press enter. Okay.
Hopefully.
And CMD is not available in this lab. Now what?
You don't have CMD, and
but
would you check through the Ethernet?
This is a simulation. This is a simulation lab right now, so that's fine. I mean, your answer would be correct. So
would
if you want,
through?
Okay, let me make it easy for you guys. So you guys say CMD, right? So if I go to CMD, then what do I do with CMD then? How would I confirm that I have internet then? Let me log into the CMD here, and if I log into this machine, how would you guys tell me that this is connected? It's a part of our network.
Run IP config all.
IP config all. Okay.
/.
So you're going to do CMD and you're going to open CMD. And what are you guys going to do?
IP config space / all.
Okay. So where can you verify that it's working and it has a proper, some type of stuff that you can say that's what it means that it's working? Not internet, networking. I'm talking about just basic networking, right? It's connected to other
Ping the
machines.
gateway.
Ping the gateway.
So we have
We could
an
just
IP
look
there.
and see.
Our IP address is 192.168.10.1.
Ah, good job, good job. So look at this.
Yeah.
The first thing you would want to know to anybody, just to show them that you know your stuff, is when they say, can you verify that this computer have networking? Not talking about internet over here, guys. Internet is what? You're going to a browser, getting something through a DNS. It's just saying, does it have networking, right? When you connect that wire, does it connect with other machines? Is it a part of that same network? How would you verify that, right? So
yes.
The simple command. So what did I find out from you guys? I know that you know about CMD, which is the basic thing that every single person should know. Even if you have a behavioral type of stuff going on, the reason I'm going to talk about this, why you're going to need to know about some technical side, is that we're going to talk about that right now in a second. But you know about IP config and all that kind of stuff.
Danish, can I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
Yep. If you look at the IP config, it's supposed to have something called a PIPA address. That could also be a way to show whether maybe you're inside the network, but you will not still have internet access.
I'm not getting it.
Hello? Oh, sorry, I thought you froze.
Yeah, like you were saying, if we have 127.0.0.1 address, or the one that says one.
No, there is something called a PIPA address.
Oh, the PIPA. It was like 169, 169, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, got it.
So that is also a way to show whether your computer is actually inside the network. It can be connected to the network. The only thing is it cannot connect to the DHCP. You cannot connect to the DHCP server. So that's
exactly.
One of the ways.
And that would be definitely, if somebody put a scenario like that in front of you and not this scenario, then yeah, that would be that issue, right? Or different issues can occur too. Maybe your Ethernet is not working correctly.
So then if you guys would see that the PIPA address, what would you do to remedy that situation? Have to
ping the DHCP server.
How to what?
Ping the DHCP server.
But you can't ping anything because of that. Yeah.
I will release and renew.
I would try that. I would take that as at least a first try.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What's the question?
So the question is that basically, Haifa, when a computer talk to the network, this is something we discussed with you and Siobhan. I remember like how the DHCP works. So there's this one thing out there. It gives you an IP address. You knock the door. It says, I have something available for you. Take it from me. But next time when you come back after 7 days, I'm going to either have to change it or give you the same address, right?
Right.
Talk about that stuff. Now here, if let's say, for example, you connected that Ethernet with this in this network and it didn't give you any IP address, it's going to give you this PIPA address, which is like 169 dot something 160, whatever it is. I don't remember the whole thing, but you can type. I'll show it to you. I'll send you the kind of like a documentation on it. So that tells you that your computer cannot talk to your current network inside while everything is working fine. You got an Ethernet, you got everything works, but it doesn't go out there. It can't go out there and get that address. Does that make sense?
Yes, but is that because?
Well, there could be many issues for that. Your DHCP is not working correctly. Your Ethernet is having an issue. You probably have some type of,
expired list.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe you have some type of corruption going on in your networking. So that's a little bit, of course, you're going to have to go out there, disable the whole thing, re-enable it. And that's what you do. When you go to your Ethernet card, you say right-click, disable, enable. It just basically does the same thing, IP config release, basically. And most of the network engineers will kind of like let you and call you, and they will ask you this type of questions in the interview. Why? Because, hey, I'm working on this port right here. You guys say that this computer cannot reach the network. So why don't you do IP config release and renew?
Release and renew. Okay, that's what I thought.
So they will ask you to do that, or they can just shut off their phone from there and do it that way also. They can do that kind of stuff, and it will still do some certain things with your network. But the reason for this, for you to know the command, is that of course not every network engineer will have the ability to do that, right? They will ask you, because you're the technician, what command can we use to release an IP address? Can you guys release an IP address? Because I put a new addressing in there because it's going to get it right away when you do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember this command.
Danish, if you disable the card and re-enable the card, is that like basically the same thing as doing like an IP release and like we knew, basically?
With disabling, I believe, but with the disabling the network card, I know it does that. But I don't know if you're just gonna go back from the drivers. You know, are you talking about from that, like device
No, I'm
manager?
just like, if you just like go in there, just disable it and then re-enable it.
It's the same process. Yep.
It's the same process, right?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
I think so too, because I have tried both and it worked.
But anyways, what if somebody asks you, how do you disable a network card and enable it? How would you guys do that? That's a basic thing. I mean, if you guys don't know how to get to the network card of the machine, then you're missing some extreme basics right here, right?
How to?
Can you ask the question again, please?
How to get to your networking, like where it's connected. Let's say, for example, our network over here is this right here, JobSkillShare.lab, and this is our, let's say, coming from this network, and it's connected to our network card, which is only one network card in this machine. Network card.
Device manager.
Why would you go to device manager?
to what? To turn the network card to the network
to just
card
disable or enable the network card is
disable
by default. Yeah, like here, I'm just gonna ask you a question. Show me a network card in this machine. Like, where is it connected? Where is the connection coming from? I know you guys can go to the command and everything, but that's just info,
I will go to change adapter option, and then from there I will.
And where? How is that on the screen? Guide me.
Device manager.
Wait, you also say device manager. Both of you say device manager. Where else would I go?
You go to your task.
Oh, the network thing at the bottom.
Network thing on the bottom. You're gonna right click and then go where?
And then right click.
Open network and internet settings.
Okay, and then?
Wait, we're doing the device card? Ethernet.
Ethernet, then?
Change
connection.
Turn the
adapter option.
The adapter option.
Now, of course, I don't have, this is a little issue with that's something you don't need to worry about, but if you do this on a normal machine, it's gonna come up and you guys can disable and enable it, okay? Don't worry about this error. Anyways, so, few last commands I'm gonna ask you guys and then we're good to go. What command would you use to what command would you use to basically see a connectivity between two machines very quickly?
Ping.
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 Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
What do we use inside company? What do we use to access another desktop when people call you and say, hey, I'm going to go
Remote.
out.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry. Remote desktop.
Remote desktop what?
Connection. Sorry, you guys. There's a thing about me. I need to calm down.
All right, guys. So I think you guys did a great job so far. Do you guys want to do the review now, or you guys want to wait for me to finish up my?
I'm dying to know if I did well. I don't know about everybody else, but
okay.
I'm gonna be messaging you.
Yes, Kev, what's up?
What's the command to do a continuous ping?
Oh, okay. How would you guys do that?
Kev, can you repeat your question?
That thing.
What's a command to do a continuous ping so it keeps pinging?
Trace route.
What? What do I do?
Is it trace route?
Trace stop?
Trace route.
I don't know this one. I've never done this one.
Pin ...
Oh, ping ... Man, you would be in trouble.
I just looked it up.
What's that?
Yeah, I looked it up too.
Yeah, minus T 8.8.8.8.
Yeah. Wait, no, it's ping minus T 8.8 point, and then I think there's a space 8.8.
What's it 8.8? Like why you guys
oh wait, no, that's the okay, yeah, no, just do.
How would I stop it?
8.8 is
Control
Google
Z.
IP address.
Control Z to stop it.
Control V.
D.
Oh, she said
C.
Control Z.
That's what Ali taught me.
None of it's working.
Control Z is not working.
No, that's because I'm on a remote machine. That's a virtual machine, so it's not
Is
taking.
Control Z correct?
You're fine. That's right. C is fine. Control C is also fine.
Well, why would you ping 8.8.8.8?
Yeah, that's what I asked you. Because you guys Googled it, right?
Yeah. No, I was honest about Googling it, you guys. I told you I
same
Googled
here.
it. Come on, man.
Okay.
You guys are very fast, eh?
All right, now.
Did you Google that?
All right.
So
While
what is
we're
the right answer? Is it pin dash T?
Yes.
yeah, it's just T with any other IP, right? Or an address, right?
And you can also set that ping to go to a certain amount if you wanted to, too. I mean, that ping T is really good because if you guys use that, and let's say you're rebooting a client's machine on the network, and then so you put in there you actually get their IP address, or you put in their actual name of the actual machine, you can watch the machine go ping, 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 drop off the network, pop onto the network. You can go, okay, go ahead and log back in. And then you can just call the customer and they can try to log back in because now you know the actual computer is connected back up to the network. And even that sitting at your desk, you can just sit there going, okay, try it now. So that's a really cool little command, a cool like a cool little thing to keep it in your back pocket.
Yeah, I was confused as to why you would ever use that command. Like, I mean, if you can just do the ping once, okay.
I mean, ping can be used for many
when I used
different.
to work from home, and I could remote in to reboot a client's computer up at work, which I'm sitting at home, and if they're working from home, and I can actually reboot the computer from home, and then I can sit there going, all right, it's back up, try it now, and they can actually log into VPN and try to get try to RDP into the machine.
I was gonna say that I always get phone calls about people restarting their computer. They're at home and they're trying to remote into their computer and the computer's not working right. So they want me to restart it.
Yep.
That's why I would run -T.
See that a lot because people just lock their computers, they go home, and a lot of things can go on with the computer between by the time they go home to like the actual next day.
And of course,
Steven,
you guys will learn more advanced pinging in this area with tracers, path ping. These are different type of pings that you can combine together too with ping and tracer. So, of course, that's something that's gonna be advanced stuff for you guys. If nobody's gonna really test you on this stuff, but knowing the commands, of course, is gonna help you. IP config, ping, NSLOOKUP, stuff like that. Of course, those are the basic commands. You should know flushing a DNS, renewing the IP, and just knowing that you can get to the command line and do something that basic, I think you will be okay with level 1 stuff. Level 1 interview specifically. Does that make sense?
Danish, I also
Yes.
want to add that there is another command that can be used for troubleshooting network, which is traceroute, which is basically you
Trace out,
trace
yeah, that's what I
route,
mentioned. Yeah.
yeah, then you can see where is the problem. So if you never manage to ping to the area, then you know, okay, that device is the one that's causing the issue.
So guys, I'm feeling a little low on my energy right now, so I just want to quickly get this thing done. One thing I want to talk about, I'm going to do my review first, and I'll let Kevin and Steven take over, and they can talk about it too. But I'm going to do my detailed analysis when I basically make each question response video on my own, and maybe they can do the same thing. That's really their choice. But here's my normal review for all of you. Just a few minutes, okay. So here's the thing for me. None of you in the beginning, when I said, tell me about yourself, none of you used any story, anything like to sell yourself, meaning as in like, you told me about like, okay, your background and everything, but none of you talked about, I am like learning about some Active Directory stuff on my own, or Office 365 stuff, or maybe something basics like that. Why? Because that was your chance to say your story first to impress them. I'm gonna take a second. My son just came in.
Would mentioning getting or studying for your certification and A+ count for that, or would you guys want to hear specifically? Oh, I'm learning about Active Directory and command and such.
So whenever you do tell me about myself or tell me about yourself, typically a right answer would be something that you're currently doing, or you talk about your work experience and stuff like that. And like going back to Danish, like Eddie says something about looking for money or something like that. Because I'm going based on the answers I was given by people, and Eddie said looking for
Put in the
money.
trash. That's the little one in the trash.
Don't talk about money.
Maybe swallow it. Bring that big one.
Yeah. And then somebody
Put that one in the
else
trash.
gave you got to give a past experience based on your past experience. And then
Now, I want to add something over here, that since most of you, when Stephen probably I think asked you this question, not asked you that second question, like tell me about the, no, I think he asked you about tell me about the past job, right? Experience or something like that. Remember, most of you don't have an IT job, right? If you're going to go for this career. So where was your chance to impress them? That was to tell me about yourself. So if you haven't made that story to them a little bit more like that, like, okay, I'm doing some courses on my own. I built my own lab. If this is for free people, you guys, if you guys have done the training, you could have seriously said that, and people have done that before you. They have said everything about, oh, I'm using a career development platform where I am learning on labs like Active Directory, like Office 365. Now, here's the thing. What are you doing right here? You're putting the biggest terms that a lot of people are going to look for. Now, remember, HR person may not know these things, but HR person still would like to know some BS in there, meaning like for them, this is BS. Like some of the stuff like that they may not know, right? And HR person we're going to get more impressed because the HR person says, oh, we use Active Directory. I send them this call to you guys, right? So you already win the mind of the HR person, but most likely this interview was for a hiring manager, and a hiring manager is not going to go that easy on something like, oh, just this is how I started and this is what my past. So you guys didn't sell yourself to me, and that was kind of like, I felt like maybe the interview from the first 15 minutes went like dull, to be honest. It was not, there was no energy in the first few questions when I was asking you questions. Remember, when it got a little bit more tricky, when Stephen and Kev kind of came in, and they added more technical questions with some of the, what is your weaknesses or failure or something like, how would you handle stress? It got a little better in there. But in the beginning, now imagine if I am bored in the interview for the first phase with you guys. Now, what's my impression about you?
You're going to stop paying attention.
I'm going to stop paying attention, because that's in the beginning, you sell yourself and you get people involved with you. Remember, it's a connection between two people right here. You're impressing, the only thing you're doing in the interview is what? You're impressing another human being. That's something you should be really taking care of in your mind. A human being can have multiple different opinions about you or everything, but if there is something that they are using, they respect it, or they see that in their job, trust me, it makes huge sense. And this is why the people who have landed a job have used this type of information to impress other people. One perfect example that I can give you is Jeremiah, right? I think Avtech is already know about him too. He used all of these terms before he went to the interview. So he actually went to the interview, and then he used all this information, this education, and he said that I didn't have A+, no degree, no job, no experience, and still got the job. Why? Because he went with a little bit more energy, with a blow, to talk about these things. Now, you don't want to make it too extensive or too big when you're talking about this stuff. Now, imagine, of course, you may be thinking, but Danish didn't tell us, like, keep it short. So maybe that was a little bit on my side. I would say, yeah.
I was going to say that.
I shouldn't have said that, because in an interview, people are not going to tell you keep it short, right? The reason I gave you that advice was that maybe that would be a beneficial thing, but it kind of fired back on me. Does that make sense? But again, yeah. Nobody have still talked anything that would have even impressed me in the beginning. That's still not a good answer right there, right?
I was gonna say that too.
I don't know if Stephen agree with me.
No, I agree. I was getting I didn't like the answers. I'm being honest.
Okay. All right. So the other thing that I noticed about all of you is some of you were just too quick to just end the question. I would manage the tickets and time management. Done. Okay. You gotta add something into it, right? Okay, if you said that I was managing ticketing system, then give an example. Maybe I was just, I was using Spiceworks ticketing system. Now remember, why are you using Spiceworks? Term, application. It's all about you winning the other person, because you're competing against people who already have jobs. So one of the question would be, why would I hire you if my other candidates are more qualified than you? right? That's a very tricky question, right? It's not going to be easy for you to defend it because, first of all, you don't have a job, IT job. Now, how are you going to really respond to that? The only way you could have done better at that question, and that comes at the end, by the way, in most of the interviews, if you would have win them already by giving them some winning terms. Tell me about yourself. I know about Active Directory. I've been following some platforms. I'm doing this. I'm doing my home lab. I created this stuff. So I felt like even the behavioral question was fine. That's something I said that you all did pretty well. There are some hesitations. There's some stuttering. There was a little bit confidence issue. Those are something you guys can work on, right? So you guys can go back and see, okay, you know what, let me make it a little bit more smoother and respond to it in a more, better way than just killing the whole thing immediately, right? That's it. Or one of like Kama have said that multiple times. He said that he kind of gave up, and you said, Haifa, you said, I'm freezed, right? You don't want to be using terms like that because then people are like, you're freezing too much with behavioral questions right there. So that means if there's a normal issue for the customers, you're going to freeze a lot, right? I'm just saying No,
that's correct.
Okay, so that's one point. Another thing I want to add, don't get too personal. Don't get too personal in the interviews at all. Haifa, you did that, no problem, you can change that. Somebody else also did that. Eddie, you shared like 3 personal stories with us. Yeah, you keep one personal story to make it funny, and you don't want to be a boring person, which I agree with you 100%, and that how it should be. Add some jokes out there to make it more friendly, to tell them that you're a more team type of person, you like to talk to people, but do not go to so personalized, like personal stuff. Why is that? What's the reason behind it? If there are 3 people that are going to hire you, I'm sure one person will think a little different. And I don't want to go to a dark side of this area. Is that, what if this person don't like Saudi Arabia now? Tell me that. Right? You mentioned that, right? What if this person don't like the way you explained about me taking control and I went in there and I did something to whatever that, like, so here's an example. If I say that my last job was where I was catching cheaters, right? And then I would go to court and battle it out. And then I would go to court and battle the sue that would sue me. Hey, you're telling me that you're pretty not dangerous, but you're kind of a little
feisty.
Yeah, they would be hesitant. I'm telling you, people are going to start thinking about you. That's what I'm saying. Don't let people think too much about you. Keep it to the IT stuff, keep it to the basics, but keep it more friendly, keep it more funny. But again, go back to IT. Because listen, again and again, I'm going to tell you this, that every answer doesn't have to go back to Active Directory, but most of the answer has to go back to some type of technology that you guys need to talk about. Even if it's just some, like, how did you handle a stressful situation? You all gave an example, and none of you talk about anything that maybe you could have just talked about some technology stuff in there, right? Unless I missed it. You didn't talk about some terms out there. Let's say you could have just spin something like Office 365 out there because it's cool. It sounds cool to me, right? As an IT professional, it sounds cool that I will hear 2 major terms that why we picked your resume for, because your resume also has a lot of these terms right there. So you guys were like 90% yourself, and you guys were 10% on your resume. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So I felt in the beginning there was a lot of kind of like for me it was like hard to, it was hesitations. It was for me hard to concentrate on the things that I was going to ask you next. So of course that's why we went to more technical side.
Yeah, they struggle with the personality questions.
Go ahead. What
was really like personality questions, like what is your greatest weakness? What is your greatest strength? Basically, telling like how do you get well actually the answer I like the answer you guys gave me, which was basically saying like how do you handle a tough customer, which is, you gave me a good answer for that. You gave me a really good answer. I liked everyone's answer. You obviously show empathy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The other one that was good, like I'm gonna give you positive feedback first before I go to negative feedback. The positive feedback is
constructive criticism.
The one you said, what I said about how do you troubleshoot a web browser if you can't get into a web browser, and everyone gave me like a different answer, and everyone gave me like a right answer, where it said try a different web browser, clear cookies and cache, flush DNS. I like those answers. Really good answers. It tells me that you know what you're doing, or you have some sort of training and understanding. The questions that Steven asked, like the ports, for example, kind of difficult for everyone. Not all of them. Some of
But
them.
you are asked that though. I got asked that in an interview, and I kind of was like, I haven't studied them in 10 years. Like, really? Like, okay, try to think of this, and I kind of froze. I'm like, I said, I don't remember. I was being honest. I'm like, and I even told them, I said my story, like, nobody's asked me in like 10 years. I worked in desktop support. Nobody's ever asked me, hey, what is a DNS port? 53. Nobody cares about 53, but it's something that you should know for the interview, and then after that, just forget about it. Unless you go into
the personality questions that Steven asked as well. Some of them, a little bit of hesitation. You can't be hesitating on a job interview. That becomes a problem.
Sometimes you'll be like, you guys will end like something like that, right? Something like that. Like that's you're returning my question on me right now. Like I think Kama said something like that. All right. Watch out with these words. People don't like these type of words when you're like, is something like that? I'm like, why did I ask you a question, right? So make sure you guys are kind of confident in this. And now here's the thing. I believe the personality questions can be fixed very easily with you guys just tweaking certain things. And now because you guys are doing this the first time, and when we make our videos or add some of the videos that we have already created, I think it's going to get really better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because one of the toughest questions that you guys will come across is that, why would I hire you in front of the other person who is more experienced than you, right? That's going to be very tough for you to defend because the other persons have experience. You're just going, because they picked you, in most cases, they picked you because of that resume that you guys sent, right? I'm talking about the live member in most cases right here. Because when you send that resume, it shows Office 365, Active Directory, so many different things, virtualizations. And if your response is something like that and you struggle with the basics, then you got a problem. So at this point, I think I'm going to have to do another detail, like listen to you guys again one more time and give you some one-on-one suggestions, because everybody answered differently. I really like what John answered most of his question in behavioral side. That could be because of his experience. So John, I think you did a great job with the behavioral side. I think you were almost giving all that. And some of the areas that you didn't know, you just said, I don't know. And that's a perfect answer. If you don't know, you don't know. But you didn't say, I'm not going to answer it. You didn't like, I'm not answering this. I'm not going to raise my hand. You came and you say, I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay. So, but John, on the other side.
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
On the other side, technically, other people were better than you.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I don't want to say that, but yeah.
No, but John is new. John has just spent his 1 week. It's like he's on third week, right?
Right.
That's fine. Then that's fine then.
And that's fine. And like I said, we're going to get back to now who we're going to hire you. Are you guys ready for this?
Yes.
Anybody ready for the intern? No? Yes? Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Is there any other suggestions or comments you guys want to give, Steven or Kev?
No, you guys did a good job. I mean, you just want to make it a little bit more of a story, though, when you go there. They don't want to hear just 3 words and say, is that it? They're both going to, the guys are going to look at each other like, really? Like this, this person can't say anything more about his experiences, like in 3-word answers, which I can ask anybody out in the darn street. So you want to make it a little bit of a story. Like I've been seeing a lot of videos that people are saying, make it into a little bit of a story and then people get interested. It's like when you tell a story to your kid or whatever, they're interested. So it's the same thing. I mean, adults or kids, but
I have a quick question. So how do you make it a story without making it personal, like Danish was saying?
How do you make it a story? It has to be your wording. So let me show you one example right here. So.
Good question.
Okay. So if somebody come over here, look at this. Have you worked as an IT help desk or IT support role? And this is where I'm making all this stuff right now. It's going to take time, by the way. It's not going to be like tomorrow or anything like this. It's going to take pretty big time for me. And this is not the perfect answer right now. So don't just take it right from this end. But you can get an idea where I'm going, Haifa. Look at this. I'm posting this. What was your Okay, so this first one was that, have you worked as an IT professional or IT support role? Or this can be also asked, what was your typical day like in your last role as a desktop support specialist? So if they throw that to you, they are either thinking that you got the IT role, but if it's not in your resume, they're not going to answer that question, right? But this is going to be the first one. So you see, you start with, yes, I have worked and helped desk, provided information and assistance to user. I was a part of a first level support. What were my tasks assigned to you in this role? Blah, blah, blah. You start talking about all these terms in there. Now, I didn't add those so far. I'm fixing that. But if you look at this, do you see Office 365 in there?
Yes.
Right? So this is what I'm talking about. Do you see technical or end users problems and customer service oriented, how I'm using terms out there without making my own story?
Yes.
And making my paragraph go bigger with more heavy terms, team environment, customer oriented. You see, I didn't just stop right there. This could have been easily a few seconds, right? It wouldn't be just ending it like that. But in your case, most of you guys are going to be in this situation. Have you worked as an IT, as a help desk or IT support person? No experience, no JSS, not a JSS member. Right? So I put an explanation here. No, however, I'm very passionate about this career and I have obtained real world skills by joining IT communities like Spiceworks. You dropped the bomb right there.
Yeah.
Listen, what this does to the people. First of all, whether they know about IT community or not, you're saying something, you cannot make it up. It's there. Second, Spiceworks is a community of millions of people. More than 8 million IT professionals are in there. So in that panel, is this going to be a help desk person taking an interview? No, it's going to be IT manager, some sysadmins, probably network people too. It depends what kind of company this is, but it's not going to be just a help desk sitting with you taking interview. Right, Kevin? Unless it's a different type of company, but most likely 98% of the time, it's not going to be a help desk taking interview hiring you, right? So even if you tell the help desk this answer, he's still gonna like it. Why? Because you're saying something more technical. And online YouTube courses, now look, listen, you don't have any defense over here. You're not gonna make stuff up. You're not gonna lie stuff, but you gotta put something out there. You can't just say, and somebody says, I was passionate about this. I'm so passionate. I want to get into this career. And once I get to this is what I want to do. So, but that's okay. But that's just generic answer, right?
I have a video on this too. So there's a video of me saying like, how would I answer it if I have no experience? And then I answered it. So there's just 2 ways to answer it.
And here you go. You are adding, I have created my home lab using VirtualBox, where most of my technical skills like Active Directory management, Office 365 management, Windows 10, what do you do? What are you doing right now? You are inside the IT world, impressing them with IT stuff, not impressing them with, I'm so passionate about IT career that I'd like to join your company. Okay, that's not enough for me, right? I know you're passionate, but there are there are other 10 people that are still passionate. What did you show me that you have done some work, some homework while you didn't have a job? So this is how you do stuff like that. And that's just one answer right there. That's what I'm working on right now. Does that make sense?
Danish, I have a question. This is a non-technical question. This is also to Steven and even KevTech. How do you negotiate a salary? Is there a way where you can do that?
Hold on. Let's not jump into that because right now we're in the middle of a flow of review, right? And then you guys can ask all the questions when I finish this flow, right, Raj? Sorry about that. I just don't want to break the flow, okay?
No problem.
So guys, if you guys come back to my first video, I think Raj, you missed this point. I showed this in the beginning, like which kind of companies will let you, give you, my son just started running, probably he's naked or anything. Let me just.
I want to be an intern, by the way. Steve, anyone else? I want to be an intern. I like an intern. I'm going to tap the little box right there. I'll be an intern.
I don't mind being, I wouldn't mind being an intern either.
I'm about to be put in intern.
One, two also.
So you guys did a good job, by the way. It's just you got to build your confidence and stuff like that. But you know, I guess we'll take it one step at a time. Donna, she's back.
Yeah, that's definitely what I said. So here's the thing: nobody will be intern in this panel. The reason I say that is that intern is someone that can just go with nothing and still get hired because of that one few words, or maybe they like you for whatever reason, they may like you, right? An internship will be given to you. So nobody is intern in this. So at least you guys did better than that, all of you.
Yay.
And I'm not joking here, because one thing I want to prove over here, based on this practice, you're going to only get better now. There's no going down. Does that make sense? So you're going to get better. So if I say, let's take other R, because other could be other, we don't even know. You could land a job with other companies that may not even, it has nothing to do with the interviews as well, right? You just go in there and they like you for whatever reason. They give you a full-time job and train you. So that's other. And people have gotten that way in there too. But that's gray area, right? You know what? Where you're going to see a lot of problems, which is going to be none of these areas, if they have a team that accept you and teach you. So number one, you can get a job over here, you can get a job over here, you can get a job over here. Why MSP, by the way? Because MSPs already know that you guys are new, you went through some program, you already know the basics, so I'm not going to teach this person from scratch again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So they have their own trainings because they have their own clients and they have their own technologies. They use IT management systems heavily, and then they troubleshoot. So how people become more experienced in these type of companies, they do look for people like you. Why? First of all, they're not going to give you a lot of money. If it's a cheap MSP, or not cheap, but it's like, MSPs are not like, they can give you a lot of money unless you go for a very large MSP, which is this one. Now, this one may be a little tricky for you in both. If they don't want you to be presented in front of the customer with this type of skills. Now, you all are going to struggle in this area. Why is this? Because they may have more people applying to them. Skeptic, what do you think about that?
I was about to say that. They want someone that already has experience. You typically, in the large environment, because I worked in an MSP environment, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. But yeah, typically you will be required to have some kind of past experience in a large environment. In a small environment, not really. They'll give you a chance to learn and train and everything. So
like this one, you're going to get a chance. They're going to teach you. They're going to give you trainings, blah, blah, blah. They may have small clients. I want the Eddie to go and fix the computer for them and come back, and I'll help Eddie out. See? But they're paying you low too, right? Most likely, most of the places are going to be like that. I have a member who landed a job after 5 months. He left because he think this was too much for him. He was not getting much. He's going to look for more advanced positions. He was about to join today, but for some reason he didn't join. Okay. So these areas, again, just like MSP, if the small business is okay, if they have a team that's willing to teach you more, they're going to get you. But if that small team has 2 or 3 people, those 2, 3 people may be a problem for you. They may say, hey, why should I hire? Why are you going to bring someone so new that has no clue, and my life is hell now? I already have so many tickets going on in the small business. Hire more people, or expand, or give us more money, right? That's just the small business issues because they don't have budget, right? Is that making sense?
Yes.
But like I said, my wording is, don't take my wording to the, like, this is the review that Danish gave, so that's how it's going to work. So I'm not going to apply to the small business because it's small business on Indeed.com. No, not at all. Because I said the first thing, you cannot be intern now. You can be any of these, depending on who is taking your interview. Just make sure you present yourself the better way. Don't get too personal, and you probably get into any of this.
What Danish is basically saying is apply everywhere. Someone will hire you and open a door for you.
There you go. So you all are level 1 worth because you already know about the basics. You can get away with basic stuff because I know you guys have spent so much time that you guys took this mock interview. That shows me your passion, that some of the basic stuff like command line and this, that all comes with time. Nobody's like a whiz over here. Nobody's born with this stuff, right? So that's my last advice to all of you, is that you guys are actually ready. When I say you are ready, you need to pick that resume and shoot it out there and let's get rejected. It's okay. You're going to get rejected by many of these positions, but there are going to be people, like I said, that they're going to open the door for you. Does that make sense so far to you guys?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
But if you guys tell me that I am not confident enough, I'm this enough, then of course you got to go back and work on yourself.
Is it possible to do other mock interviews like this?
Yes, we're gonna do a next one only technical. So the reason I didn't do that because I had a lot of like us, the pain stuff. So what the way I designed this mock interview, and it took time and we learned it. We're never gonna do behavioral and technical at one shot. So the technical was something like that. You guys would log into the server like this, and then you guys will basically do the whole technical interview on the servers. Behavioral will be a next phase where we're gonna put out another probably 2-3 weekends. We're gonna give you at least 2 weeks to prepare yourself again. And by then I'll have some videos. We'll add some KevTech videos, Steven videos, and then you guys can use that to prepare yourself for the second batch. But we will not bring the same people in the same batch. Right?
Oh, okay.
Doesn't make sense, right? Like if we do KevTech, what do you think? If we bring brand new people, we're gonna repeat ourselves again and again for new people. So now
so you're saying it's going to be the same batch of people.
it's gonna be the same batch of people. We're gonna say the batch 2 for the last people. So if you guys can manage, you guys get into that, okay?
Yeah, these people are pretty cool. I like you guys.
I mean, it won't make sense, right? With too much energy wasted over here, right? For each time. So guys, I hope you guys didn't mind anything that I said.
No, thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a little,
I'll hear your
I have
feedback.
a little thing going on. So let me just stop.
And we don't do anything to hurt anyone or scream or yell. We just do it criticism. So, and let me learn from it, basically.
Criticism is always good.
It's very helpful. Thank you.
Destructive criticism.
Can I have the recording, please, Danish?
He's going to post it on YouTube, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was supposed to be live on YouTube, but they were having a little bit of issues.
Yeah, sorry guys. So my pain is getting a little more. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm just gonna go and get some rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
End the meeting. Get some rest, Danish.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, take care, Danish. Take care. Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. I'll
Take care,
put it
guys.
on
Have a good
YouTube.
rest of the weekend.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
You guys on Discord, bye.
Bye, guys.
What's up, everyone?
Gracias.